so first let's just start by saying, like, in order to develop a coping mechanism, something had to like had happen in your life. So for instance, like for me, when I was like, I don't know, when I was a kid, and I developed this, which I still do have it a little bit now. It's like the whole people pleasing thing. Alright, so like when I was a kid, it was just more so like anytime I wanted to do something for myself, it's like either like my parents or like adults that were around me would make me feel bad. So it's like, I want to go see my friends, instead of like doing something that I was asked to do in the house because I have to leave like right now. Like the car's outside, I gotta go. But then they'll make me feel bad, and just it would be something like, oh, you're lazy, you're this, you're that. So then, you know, like the more I heard that, it would like sit in my head, and then the thoughts would come anytime I wanted to choose myself. It made me feel like, okay, I'm the lazy one, I'm the one that's this, so I need to like come out of myself and do something for them to make them feel good, even though it makes me feel bad, you know. So over time, like that became like a pattern. I kept doing it because now I've told myself, okay, like this thing that like I have to do this to get love, or like to feel like I'm a good person, you know, even though secretly I wouldn't, because in my heart I'm like, bro, I never wanted to do this anyways. Why am I doing it? Like, why am I doing it? So then what I tried to do was that, like, once I identified that's what I was doing. How did I identify that's what I was doing though? Like, that's what we gotta talk about. So the way I identified like that's what I was doing was because like at some point like I just felt so drained, because I constantly just kept doing things for people to make them happy, and I just kept getting drained and drained and drained and drained. And that was like years on end when I actually like realized that that's what I was doing. So by the time like I would even try to like end it, like those things were embedded in my body. Like anytime I would try to like break away from like doing that, it was like thoughts would come up in my head that would make me feel like, oh, okay, like you don't want to do this, like you're this, you don't want to do that, like you're this, even though it's like it makes you uncomfortable AF. Like, bro, like come on. So what I started to realize was this: anytime you want to step into a new version of yourself, the version of you that currently does what it is that is like the people pleasing, or you know, like you have these coping mechanisms. Okay, maybe I should help you guys understand what the coping mechanism was in this situation. So the coping mechanism in this situation was basically like I was seeking safety, because I felt like if I didn't do what someone wanted me to do, like, okay, so if I didn't do what someone wanted me to do, then I'm a terrible person and they might yell at me or do this or do that or do this or do that. So then I wouldn't do it. Like, my coping mechanism is to do what that person wanted me to do. Copy, 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 paste, copy, paste. Okay, copy. Okay, so now we got the coping mechanism, right? So now, like, after I identified that, I was like, yo, like, I can't keep doing that to myself. Like, what the hell are you on? Bro, I'm just thinking about it, like, why was I doing that anyways? Like, yo, that's crazy. Alright, so basically, when I was trying to step into that new version of myself, that was like, I wanted to be that person that's like, okay, like, I choose me and I don't feel bad about it. Because every time I did something that I didn't want to do, I felt bad. But then something within me is like, you have to do this thing. And that was that version of me. So when I started to think, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, the version of me that does it, it wants to keep existing because it has its own psychology. So it's not going to start coming up with the thoughts and the feelings that's meant to keep you there. So once you start, like, this is what you have to do, right? You have to, like, keep in mind that's what it's going to do. So as long as you keep in mind that that's what it's going to do to stop you from getting into like that version of yourself that you want to be, then you're able to like that's literally the key right here. That's a tool right here, bro. Like, as long as you can identify it, like, as it's happening, like, okay, I want to, like, what do I want to stop doing right now? Oh, again, it's the whole feeling bad thing. Like, that, I want to stop feeling bad for being myself. And this is not even maybe there's, like, still some of, like, the people pleasing thing. So my lifestyle is more so, like, I'm a model, I'm an author, so a lot of public figure stuff, like being in the public eye. And at times I would have these thoughts of, like, oh my god, people are judging me, this and that. See, I'm not saying it's easy to step into, like, that version of yourself that you want to be, but as long as you have this, like, tool on your hand, anytime you want to, like, stop like a pattern or a coping mechanism, in order for it to be a coping mechanism, there has to be a pattern there that you're doing and doing and doing and doing and doing. So as long as you can identify that pattern, you're able to, like, say, okay, this pattern is what I'm using or doing to cope with this. So what I was doing was, like, I was, like, abandoning myself to make other people happy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was abandoning myself to make other people happy. So once I realized that, okay, this is what I've been doing, that's a pattern that has created this whole thing, and the coping mechanism, and it's a coping mechanism behind not wanting to be yelled at, not wanting people to not want to be my friend, or, you know, like, all these little things that you don't need to buy. Like, relationships are not transactions, like, bro, like, no, I'm not doing that. You see what I mean? Like, so now you're, like, as long as you identify it, now you're gonna have the mindset of, like, yeah, like, bro, I'm cooking myself the more I do it, because I feel terrible every single time I do it. Like, I feel terrible every single time I do it. So now you know, right? There's a pattern there that you're doing, which was created out of you trying to cope with something. So as long as, like, you have this tool of, okay, I'm going to start being more intentional with myself. Like, that's one thing I try to tell myself. I'm being more intentional with myself about, like, how I want to feel after hanging out with someone, or how I want to feel after saying yes to something. You know, I need to feel good after I've said, okay, I want to do this, and after doing it, I need to also feel good. So that's what I've been telling myself, and I think you guys can use this tool as well. But, you know, I hope that helped you very much. I really hope that helps you very much. So again, what are we gonna do? First, we need to be aware that when you want to become that person that's saying, okay, I don't want to do this, or I just don't want to do it because I just don't want to do it. You're allowed to say that too. Like, I don't want to do it because I'm just not comfortable doing it. But my old version, before I even stepped into, like, this person right here, the old version of me that would, like, feel bad for, like, okay, like, I don't want to do this, but I feel like I have to, because if I don't, then, like, they're gonna think I'm a bad person, they're not gonna be my friend, and this and that, and nonsense. That, bro, that version of me is gonna be pop in a poop. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do, guys. Yeah? Capitito? Okay, remember, this version of you that currently exists that people pleases, because they have this coping mechanism of, like, okay, even if I don't want to do it, I have to do it, because if I don't do it, isn't that, like, this is a coping. You're coping. You're not living. You're coping. Okay. So anytime that version of you comes up that wants to tell you that thing, what you're gonna do is, like, you're gonna, like, relax and say, okay, it's gonna do this. Like, I expect you to do this. I expect you to tell me all these things. But I know that, like, the version that I'm gonna be, they're okay with saying no, and they're okay with people being upset with them. I mean, I didn't do anything to you. All I just said was no, I just don't want to, or I'm not interested. You know, like, it's just not for me. If you're gonna be upset because I'm choosing myself, I mean, what can I do about it? You know what I mean? So I use this thing to like undo a lot of things. Like, I use this technique of, okay, I know if I'm going to step into becoming someone new, this version of me that is conditioned this way, because it wants to exist, it will try to stop me. The lights just went off. I might have to stand up to like turn it back on. Capitito? We got it, bro. You got it, bro. All right, you got it.